right, so today in Crypto Corner, we are talking about the legendary Chupacabra. But we're not just going to talk about it because April is TikTok month. Thanks to D Park sending me some TikTok videos that are going to be. We're going to do haunted TikTok at the end of this. I've just been kind of building up to that. We did witches of TikTok last week, where people posted videos of witches, and I'm not talking about the pagan practitioners. We could talk about them, but I'm not going to talk about them today. And if I do talk about them, it'll be in a different segment than this one. They don't belong in Crypto Corner. They're practice, a belief, a religion, if you will. So I'm not going to lump them as into Crypto Corner here. But we are going to explore some different ideas at some point. The topic for today, though, is the Chupacabra, and we are going to be looking into and exploring some of these alleged TikTok sightings. So let's get started. Let's pop right in and see what we are dealing with. Boom, boom, boom. Get rid of that. There we go. All right, so this is our first Chupacabra sighting. Let's look at the still here with it back behind the bushes real quick. The organism is I forget that you can't see my mouse on when I'm doing this through TikTok. That is one annoying feature about doing this through TikTok. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so the here, we'll just play it then, since I can't point out features and such. There we go. All right, but we'll as you can see, it's basically, it looks like a canid, with it's like sitting on its haunches with one paw kind of up in the air. Of course, they keep it back behind the plants there, so you don't really get a good look at it. So I can't tell you for sure whether this is a fox, a coyote, or a dog breed of some kind. There are hairless dog breeds, so that's a very real possibility. But this one, to me, is definitely a canid. Suffering probably from mange if it's not a hairless breed of dog, but it's back in the bushes, so I can't really tell. All right, so that was the first two. And the fun thing about this is that all the descriptions are in Spanish, so I mean, I translate them, it's no problem, but you're going to come to witness that even though all the descriptions are in Spanish, which makes it sound like these are coming from Latin America, there are some of these that are very clearly not coming from Latin America, and we'll get to that in a moment. All right, so let's move on to the next one, because we got a lot to cover here. We have another canid, definitely a canid. Peaked ears that are fairly large. We have some skin. It's definitely got mange. I'm thinking mange is the culprit here. This is a very sick animal. You can kind of tell by the way it's moving how gaunt it is. That's part of the whole Chupacabra treatment, though, isn't it? That these animals are not only hairless, but they're gaunt and sickly looking, because they struggle to sustain themselves with their disease. I'm going with coyote on this one. Definitely this little thumbnail or whatever they put on here. Yeah, I might do that with mine too. That's a puppers. Definitely a dog. Definitely a canine. Not some horrid monster lurking in the shadows. It's a canine. Some kind of I believe it's a coyote. It looks like a coyote to me. Feel free again, as always, to disagree with me in the comments below. if you do not think that this is a coyote, but it looks very much like a coyote to me. We could look at the facial structure, the narrow muzzle, the large ears. Obviously, we can't go by coat pattern or color or anything like that, but because there's nothing to be seen. But this is what the creationists would call the dog kind. Definitely dog kind here. No, this one's a little bit weirder. This is the oddball of the bunch. But let's see what you guys think. That is definitely a person. Got some night eyes out on there. This actually looks like it might be someone trying to... Because this scene looks familiar, like the vampire episode of Lost Tapes. Anybody remember the vampire episode of Lost Tapes? That's what this looks like. It does not look like... a Chupacabra at all. They say it's a Chupacabra in the description, but I think that this very much looks like it's from that episode of Lost Tapes. Moving on, and again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but if it's not from the episode of Lost Tapes, it's someone emulating that scene where the vampires are behind the wall being creepy. Right. This one might be my favorite. This one is pretty cool. Now, I'm not going to say what I think this is. I want you guys to tell me in the side chat what you think this is. So, we are looking at... Remember, these are alleged Chupacabra. So, you tell me what this organism is. And I'm going to be arrogant and say I know exactly what this is. So, keep that in mind. We got a vote for coyote. You think it's a coyote? Anybody else? Anybody else want to take a shot at what this is? Should have went with Skinwalker on that last one. Yeah, that would have made more sense to call it a Skinwalker. I'm waiting for Ring to pipe up because Ring, yes. Oh, there you go, Ring. All right, you got it. Almost looks like a maned wolf with mange. You are absolutely correct. That is what we are looking at here, is a maned wolf. They are a South American canine. South America has this unique characteristic because it got populated by some mammals early on, and when placental mammals. So let me just real quick, I'm going to pop out and talk about canines real quick like a big nerd. Okay, so the Canids were doing pretty good in North America, right? About 2 million years ago. They were doing really good. They had a lot of diversity. They come down from these big bone crushing dogs and stuff and kind of diversified. There were not at this time gray wolves, like the big gray wolves like we see in Canada and such. Well, really in Western United States as well. They weren't there at this time. We had an indigenous population of canines. We had dire wolves, or the indigenous canines, and they were the dominant ones. There were wolves, true wolves, that were related to the European wolves that had come over, but they had come over in an earlier wave during a glaciation event. So we had this little population of true wolves that were smaller than the Eurasian wolves were, much smaller than the dire wolves were, that filled this kind of meso-predatory niche. And keep in mind that in the time of megafauna, the meso niche is a little bit bigger than it is today. So you have a lot bigger organisms. So we have this population of indigenous canines to North America, right? And they move into South America when the land bridge attaches, when we start to get seeing this. That's called the Great American Interchange, when Panama connected together, South America and North America connected, and animals went back and forth. Now this spelled doom for a lot of the animals in South America. A few clades did do all right, and many clades held on in South America, but none of the megafauna really made it through. Unfortunately, there were some crazy things in the fauna record back then. But like things like tapirs, the megafauna, the biggest megafauna, it was introduced at this time, because tapirs weren't in South America before that interchange. But these canines, these different clades of canines, came down to South America and kind of carved out these niches for themselves. We have the maned wolf. There was the Falkland Island wolf, which was also a unique. We have the crab-eating foxes down there that are a unique indigenous clade. We have I keep wanting to say bear dog, but it's a bush dog. These Canids are very unique. And South America is kind of the only other place, because you mostly we lean towards the Canis family, the Canis genus. With you got coyotes and jackals and such. So, but there's a lot of this weird variety in South America, and the maned wolf is one of them. And it fills this very bizarre ecological niche where it is a savanna hunter. So it's basically, this guy fills the same ecological niche as like a cheetah, but on a smaller scale. And it hunts the savanna, and it hunts like there's cavimorph rodents that fill this. It's like a mini savanna. It's like a micro Serengeti. So everything's just scaled down a little bit in South America, but has comparable niches to Africa. So the maned wolf is the cheetah of the landscape, and then there's Amara. Maras are these big cavimorph rodents that basically are like little mini antelopes that live in the savanna. It's really a little neat little microcosm. It's like the Hobbit version of the African savanna, which is funny to think about. Like, and then like the jaguar fills like the lion niche, and yeah. Anyway, you guys get me on these topics. Yeah, ground sloths. Good point. Ground sloths did move north, and they did well. We had terror birds that moved north too. We didn't have none of the mammalian carnivores did well moving from South America, though. It was they did not fare well in the interchange. North American carnivores kind of went down there and dominated them and wiped them out, but some things did survive. Anyway, that was a tangent about the evolution of canids. Sorry about that, everybody. Now, this is the one here that made me say that this is not all in Latin America. And you'll see why in a second. Again, this is one I will not say what the animal is. I will let you guys tell me in the side chat. Yep, terror birds. No. You guys tell me what this is. And this is another one that I am absolutely 100% sure I know what it is. But I'm being a little cocky there. But that's all right. Oh, let's not do that. Hold on. So we got some dogs barking at something up in the bushes. And then boom! There's our Chupacabra. What is that Chupacabra, you ask? Tell me what you think that Chupacabra is, because I'm very clear what this Chupacabra is, and there's no way this is anywhere except for the Middle East or maybe North Africa. I'm almost 100%. I would put some money down. These things do not live. It's a real animal, but they do not live in the New World. Not at all. Ring, you're going to have to be more specific. I expect more from you. I hold you to a higher standard. You're going to have to give me... you guys are on the right track. And yes, Ring and Gary are correct. It is a hyena. It is a striped hyena. Now, striped hyenas are a fun concept as well, much like the maned wolf. They're a little bit of an oddball, but they are the ones that are most well known to Western society. When you think of hyena, the idea of a hyena that a Western person has, in modern times, we lean more towards the spotted hyena because we are more exposed to like Africa, African, I guess, and I blame documentaries, but we're exposed to like African biomes and not so much the deserts of the Middle East and even Eastern Europe, because striped hyenas were prevalent in Eastern Europe, and even until the Middle Ages, they were still present in Greece and even over into areas like Italy. There's speculation that the Le Bête Gaudovan, the beast of Gaudovan, in Paris was just a striped hyena that had migrated into the area, because they're you could almost call them a Mediterranean species, because they kind of circle around the Mediterranean and not just the Mediterranean. I mean, there's the Red Sea and things like that there too that they're around, but around Africa and Europe and Asia, or the Near East part of Asia. So this had to been filmed somewhere in that area, obviously. So, but they have been actually part of our European culture and heritage. It's kind of fun to think about that, as these are Europeans' hyenas, and they're smaller than the African hyena, but they're still a cool animal. They're more solitary than a spotted hyena. Spotted hyenas live in huge clans. Striped hyenas and the other big hyena is the brown hyena, which lives like in just in Africa, it's just small, like it looks smaller than the spotted hyena, and it's got stripes too, just they're not as prevalent as they are on this striped hyena. Now, the brown hyena is kind of interesting because it'll hunt on the coast and eat seals. That's a unique thing for a hyena to do. But I get into these little tangents. Yes, Ring, that's what I was saying. Escaped from a menagerie. It could have been a spotted hyena, but the description seemed more like a striped hyena to me. Or even a brown hyena, potentially. All right, so that was that one, and that's definitely a hyena. All right. Now, I don't think I need to even have you all speculate on what this is. I think it's very clear what animal we're looking at attacking this sheep here. I'm going to turn the sound on. Oh, no, not this one. I don't want that song. Ursus americanus. Definitely Ursus americanus. I don't know. I know. I think some people show up for my tangents, Ring. I think they really do. This is a bear. This is a bear that broke into someone's sheep's pen and attacked their sheep. It doesn't need to be a chupacabra. It's a black bear, and it's doing very well at being a black bear and attacking a sheep. It's using its forearms to hold on to it, and it's biting its face and neck, which is how bears kill ungulates. They do the same thing like a lion does. They wrap their jaws around its muzzle and suffocate it. I don't know if you guys are aware of that or not, but carnivores, large carnivores, don't kill their prey necessarily by inflicting a lot of wounds onto it. At least not modern large carnivores. Wolves, you get to that size, like a mid-sized carnivore. Wolves, hyenas, they'll tear you apart. Wild dogs, but the large ones, now they may not do that to us. Large cats, especially, will generally just choke us out. The bite off our windpipe, but jaguars are an exception because they will jump on you and bite right into the back of your skull because they're very good at biting through hard stuff because one of their major prey items is turtles and crocodiles, who are very hard to bite into, so they have a extremely powerful bite force. So that's a fact about jaguars. You won't even know you've been killed by a jaguar because it'll pounce on your back and sink its fangs into your skull, and you'll be dead and never know what happened. Whereas if you're attacked by any other big cat, the chances are you're going to be mauled and choked out. It's going to wrap its big old cat jaws right around your neck and choke you out. But bears, and big cats too, when it comes to ungulates, even sheep, which aren't all that big, do the wrapping their jaws right around the muzzle and suffocating it, so it can't breathe. It's basically wrapping its face around its mouth, around its nose and mouth, so that it cannot breathe anymore, and suffocating it and sinking it. It bites down with its teeth so that the animal can't get free and suffocates it. It's a pretty vicious way to go, but that's how they do it with these large ungulates. I'm not sure if that's what the bear's doing here, but that's what it looks like it's doing to me, like it's trying to keep its jaws around the sheep's face. All right. Another tangent. I'm on it today. On it. The next one, and final one, because we're wrapping up Crypto Corner after this, is... Oh, I need to make it bigger. There you go. All right, so we got our goat here, and it's the white goat with the brown head that we're looking at. That band around the back of its body is the alleged monster with all this tangle of what looks like hair and stuff underneath it. Now, when I look at this and I look at the mesh that's around that structure that their goat's standing next to, there's some black mesh on that structure. They'll get around here in a second. This is a 3-minute video, and I may or may not have talked about this before. I don't know, but if I didn't, I need to. So this is where we're going. So we got the two guys, red shirt and red shorts. And we've got a little black goat, a tan goat, and a white goat with a brown head. The white goat with the brown head is allegedly being attacked by a Chupacabra. But as we see, this mesh fence that runs around here looks very much like what the goat is tangled in. However, let's get a closer look. Let's see what they find when they get closer in on this thing. That there is something wadded up in there, but it still looks like it's just the mesh from the fencing to me. So as of right now, I'm watching this. I'm like, okay, so that's just the meshing from the fence. They get it off of the goat. And to me, it's also weird that they're being all standoffish about it, because it doesn't seem like an organism to me. But maybe there's an organism tangled in the mass there and attached to the goat, because it looks like something's moving down there. Something tangled up in the mesh, and then the mesh is tangled around the goat. They're being really standoffish about it. All right, the goat's free-ish. Go on, goat, run away. So the goat's free of the tangles. The other goat, didn't, the little black goat, doesn't seem, but maybe that's its mom, is why it's like that. Whatever it was that's tangled in there is now getting trampled by goat hooves. My homeboys are chasing it down. Now they're not afraid to stick their hands in there. I don't know what the story is there. All right, I thought there was more to that than this. Anyway, hold on. I think there's more to it than this. Just a second, because we're gonna see if we can pull up the rest of it. We got a minute before we have to be done with Crypto Corner. I'm trying to be more punctual. I don't want people. What do you do in TikTok? Oh, we gotta put the hashtag. Hashtag Chupacabra. Okay. Is this the one that... Okay, so they get the... Yeah, this is the one where we see it run away, I think. This one's a bit shorter. So, picking up right where we kind of left off. Dude's going to be in the way, though. Now they're catching it in the water. No, I'm not going to mess with that. This is what it was, though, if you watch. This is what they say it was that was hanging from there. It just, yeah, it doesn't, that looks like someone's craft project, so I don't know if maybe they had the video of the goat tangled in the stuff, and people were like, oh, what is that thing? And maybe there was some kind of creature stuck in the mesh, too. But... it runs away, and that's what I'm trying to find. There's a clip where it shows it running away, and I thought that was included in the one that I picked, but maybe not. Let me see. Alright. There we go. Yeah, this. Yeah, when they say it runs away like that. Now, to me, I'm thinking if there was some sort of rodent or small animal that was stuck in the mesh, that it would have dragged the mesh along with it as it tried to escape from the humans. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. So, that was Crypto Corner. We looked at some TikTok chupacabras. We had, what do we have? Let's recap. We had some, we had some coyotes. We had some, I thought I had some raccoons in there too, but I guess I didn't include those. I had one that was a news clip, but I'm always wary about putting news clips on Crypto Corner because I get flagged for those when I do it. And I have to contest it and everything. I mean, usually I get it passed on it. I've never not got the go ahead to use it once they review it and see that it's a critique. But if I put it in there, then I have to go through all the process, and I'd rather not. If I can find ones that aren't newsreels, I will, or if I can just clip out the actual footage and erase the voices. But when I'm doing TikTok, of course, I can't do that because I'm looking for specifically TikTok videos. So that's why I decided not to use the newsreel one. But there was another raccoon that was a chupacabra, and you have to look it up yourself, I guess, because we're out of time for the topic. But thank you so much if you're here and it's a Friday night and you're just hanging out with Brainbug in the premiere chat. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you future Brainbug for putting this stuff out there and let me hang out with my friends and watch it. So please remember to be kind and take care, and I'll see you next time.